young people to have mentors to know to turn to in writing.
Hello to everyone. This is my YouTube channel. I am Gabriel Deji, your host, as with every episode. And today I have a very exciting guest here. I have Tamilore Awosile, the chairman of the Blackhead Students Network, a student at Stanford University, and he will introduce himself further. So hello, Tamilore. Please tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, hi, and thank you to Gabriel for having me. So yeah, my name's Tamilore Awosile. Just finished up my first year at Stanford University in the US, and I was the head boy at Haberdashers Arts Boys School from 2018 to 2019. And yeah, so I am the founder and chair of the Blackhead Students Network, which is a network of Black head boys and head girls across secondary schools, current and former, across secondary schools across the United Kingdom. So yeah, that's like the quick version. I'm also a big jazz musician. I play the tenor saxophone, I sing, and like other interests include like entrepreneurship, especially relating to entrepreneurship on the African continent, and like involved. So things relating to that, things relating to the Black community heavily on campus, and yeah, so that's a bit about me.
Quite
Sure,
a
we'll get
heavy
more.
and quite an impressive resume. My first question to you is, so the Blackhead Students Network, let's just get straight into that. Why did you feel the need to create a network of head students of Black origin?
Yeah, so at the time I was head boy, I started getting news of there being a lot of other Black head students at other schools. So first it started with Habs Boys School, like our sister school Habs Girls next door, and Habs Girls had a Black head girl at the same time. And then North London Collegiate School, they had a Black head girl at the same school. And then me and my parents started getting news of other Black head students at other schools. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. This is something happening. And I thought, oh, it'd be really cool to meet these people. Like, we have this thing in common, this unique thing in common. Like, a lot of us were the first, a lot of people were the first Black head student. But I thought, as well as us meeting each other and it'd be cool to meet like-minded people, I thought by setting up a network, we could do something bigger than ourselves and kind of inspire other Black students that they too can achieve this. So I saw it as an opportunity, a unique opportunity, given that like this year there seems to be something happening. So an opportunity for like us to meet each other and like be able to support each other in the unique positions we hold, but also do something bigger than ourselves and like inspire other young Black students that they can apply for these roles and like achieve this. So that was why I decided to set it up.
So there are two things there. My first question is, a lot of people is going to say, like, as a young man, it's going to be difficult to create your own like organization. So just give us some of the basic steps of how you created that.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but like it's worth it. And you definitely have to be invested in what you're doing and really passionate about it, because like there are many 2 a.m. nights with school at 6 a.m. So I think the basics were like, firstly, especially in this modern day and age, like social media and a website is very key. Organizations have some sort of digital footprint, so that that was one of the first things I did, because when I was asking people and asking them to join, then it would help that we had like a blueprint and internet presence, so that they would take us seriously. But also when I was approaching external people to, for example, give us a venue for the event, or asking them to speak at our event, like it helps that they had this thing that's ours that they could see and know that we're serious, we're professional. So a website, social media was like a key, especially in the early days. So I designed the first website myself using Wix. I got my friend to make a logo, and like so it started the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook accounts, and So that was a key step. And then it was just, and then obviously as an organization, you need other people. So I kind of got like a team around me who were very instrumental, and at least still are instrumental now, and like kind of planning the first event, reaching out to other people and like the day-to-day running. So I think internet presence and other people are very important. So those were definitely the two most important things in the early days, I think, for us as a network.
And also, so my next question to you is, you're talking about the vision of the Black History Network. What are some of the visions when you're creating it, and what are some of the things that you've achieved?
Yeah, so our visions were like, our strapline now is inspire, inform, influence, and basically we aim to like inspire young Black people that they can like aspire to being head boy, head girl, but also just inspire them in general through our events that we run, showing them like Black people in careers and institutions that weren't necessarily meant for us, and showing them they can achieve that if that's what they so desire. Informing them about the opportunities available to them, whether it be career-wise, university-wise, and just otherwise. And influence was about like the media kind of portrays an overwhelmingly negative image of young Black people usually. So we wanted, by showing that we exist, we wanted to like kind of say that no, we are like it's important for Black people to like have another narrative for themselves. So I think that that was another one aim. So in terms of what we've achieved, we've held events. Which have reached over 100 people, partnering with banks like Citi, Coots. We've been able to provide like insight days for our members, partnering with the Citi Roots Diversity Network. We've spoken at a school assembly to like over 100 children. We've held, recently in lockdown, we've been holding online events. So we've held a variety of online events, including we held one on US university admissions. We held one on internships. We've held one partnering with the global head of events in the New York Times. And through that, we've reached like over 100 young people. So even in lockdown, we've been able to like be active and still reach people. We are in the process of launching a few projects, including mentoring, other outreach things. So we aim to like put on programming, and also just through our social media and things like that, to achieve our 3 goals and missions. So that's some of what we've achieved, like a quick.
So there you spoke. So in the strapline, the key word for me is inspire, because not only do the Black Head Students Network inspire people, I would say that you are a personal inspiration to other people as well, through the fact that you're in Stanford University, which is not only one of the best universities in America, but one of the best universities in the world. So how were you able to even get into Stanford, and tell people more about what you're studying there?
Yeah, so for me, the dream to go to university in the US came around year 9, I would say. And the main things attracting me to the US, because the US has like kind of a liberal arts education system, so which means that you can kind of explore different areas, and you don't have to put on you indicate on your application what major you might study, but you're not locked in at most schools. And that really suited me because I have a lot of varied interests and I'm not 100% sure what I would like to study. So the system allows me to explore. Secondly, I mentioned earlier, I'm a jazz musician. I play tennis, sax, and sing. And I wanted to be able to continue my music at a high level. So that wasn't necessarily an option available to me at universities in the UK. It would have to be like a music conservatory, whereas in the US, the music that exists in universities is at a much higher level, but also they have some schools also have joint degree programs with music conservatories. So those are the things that attracted me initially, because it would allow me to explore my academic interests and carry on music at a high level. And this episode was about Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn.
Mm.
and he went to Stanford. So in the show, he was talking about his time at Stanford. So my dad called me to like watch the show, um, and it just sounded like a really inspiring place, and it sounded really key and instrumental to his journey. So I thought, okay, it's basically cool. So I did some more research into school, and I really fell in love with it.
Mm.
And so I decided to apply, but this was like 2 weeks before the deadline. And then what am I studying there? So in my first year, I've taken all sorts of classes. I've taken Yoruba, which is like my native tongue.
Yeah.
I've taken contemporary African politics. I've taken computer science classes. I've taken a class on the rhetoric of ethnic and racial identity. I've taken a class on the healthcare ethics and justice. I've taken a class on the criminal justice system and linking it to the performing arts. So like I've done a variety of things, and I'm probably going to major in symbolic systems, which is like has a strong computer science core, but combines it with philosophy, neuroscience, AI. So it kind of has that interdisciplinary flavor too. So yeah, sorry, that was a lot, but
No, yeah.
that was how I kind of ended up at Stanford and what I've done since I've been here.
Mm. So just for people to know, I know that for your applications to universities, you applied to many Ivy League schools, and Stanford isn't the only one that you got, but you also applied to multiple Russell Group universities in the UK. So can you just answer, how many universities did you apply to overall?
I applied to 10 US schools.
Wow.
And I did my 5 UCAS, so I applied to 15 schools.
Wow. See, that is amazing. And you filled in application forms for all of them. But now let's move away from academia. For all the creative things and the organizations and the projects that you're part of, I guess that networking would be a key element. So can you just talk to us about the idea of networking and how impactful that's been to you to moving forward?
Yeah, networking is definitely very important. Something I'm still working on to this day, but I think it's definitely been instrumental in my journey in terms of, like, just to give one example, Black House Units Network had our first event at Coots, but we found it challenging to find a venue at the beginning, and the organization that was meant to host us initially pulled out.
Mm.
And the only reason I was able to host it at Coots because back in the summer before, I went to this banking at night inside day at NatWest RBS, and Coots is part of that, the RBS group. And I spoke to this MD, came and gave us a presentation, and I found it really interesting. And I spoke to him after, got his business card, and I kept it. And then in February, in January, when we were looking for a venue, then I emailed him and said, "This is what's up." So that's just one like very tangible example of how networking has it's like really had real tangible and like important results in my life. But just in general, I think networking is really important to do because, first of all, it's like a chance to meet interesting people with similar interests. Secondly, you don't know what doors it can open for you. Like for example, the internship I got this summer was through networking at Stanford. So I think, yeah, networking is super, super important, and like, especially using digital tools, it makes it easy and opens up access to another group of people who you wouldn't have been able to have access to otherwise. So yeah, networking is super, super important, and something I'm trying to do more of and like get better at all the time, but it's definitely had a real tangible and important impact in my life so far.
And another thing, in order to create all these organizations, you are juggling schoolwork, university applications, and I know for the Ivy League universities, you have to write different applications for each one of them, and they're quite lengthy. How do you organize your time, and how do you stay focused?
How do I organize my time? Organizing my time is, I've definitely gotten better at it at university than I was at school. At school, I managed to get everything done. Like, I worked hard. I didn't necessarily work as smart as I could have, as in, like, terms of maybe prioritizing things or working the most efficient way or like avoiding procrastination. So I think it's important, but just in general, like it's important to keep track of what you're doing. So lists were really important for me. I always use my phone calendar to keep track of like meetings and engagements and things that I have, but also rehearsals, whatever, because there was a lot, and there has been a lot of that this year too. But something I started doing this year when I was at university is also like, in university you have large blocks of time which I didn't necessarily have in school. So I would like schedule what I wanted to do with those large blocks of time in advance, maybe the day before, a couple of days before, so that I wouldn't be idle. Because if I knew what I was going to achieve that in that time and where I was going to do it and where I was going to be and who I was going to study with or whether I was going to study by myself, then I found that I was infinitely more productive that time than just if I just the time arrived and then I am deciding what to do. So that's something. So I think lists, calendar, and the calendar app have definitely been key for me, organizing and like keeping track of all the things I do. So I have like a spreadsheet. I write down lists, post-it notes, whatever works for you. But I think some people like digital, some people like paper. But yeah, for me, lists and calendar have been the keys.
So wow. So you've spoken to us about your focus. You've spoken to us about the projects you're part of, networking. I think it's been a very interesting interview, and I think we're going to round up now. So my final question to you, Tamilore, is for other people who are aspiring to achieve great things like you might have done, or maybe aspiring to achieve greater, how would you, what advice would you give to them for what they're going to do in the future?
I would say work hard or whatever it is, and be prepared to sacrifice, whether it's like you have to sacrifice that motive or that fun thing you might want to do in order to achieve your goals. So work hard and be prepared to sacrifice in order to get to where you want to get to, and it will be worth it in the end, and you can celebrate once you get there. But be prepared to sacrifice. Also find something that you're passionate about, and because if you're passionate about something, it makes it infinitely easier to put in that work and to put in those hours and to grind, because you have it like resonates with you. It resonates with you and your ethos and what you want to do and what you want to be putting out into the world. And thirdly, like define success and productiveness and all those things for yourself. Don't feel pressured because you see like everyone going, like posting on LinkedIn, being like doing up the corporate world and things like that. Don't like define what success is for yourself, and that will also define what productivity is for yourself. For example, if you want to be an artist, productivity is not like productivity is not looking up the 5 investment banks and well, there are more than 5 investments, but you know what I mean. Productivity is not like looking up the 5 investment banks, learning up what DCF is. Productivity is maybe producing a song a week or something like that. Or if you're an artist, productivity is maybe doing a sketch a day. So don't like define what productivity is and success is for yourself. Don't feel pressure because you see everyone around you going in a certain direction, that you must follow suit in that direction and like want to be successful and make an impact in the same way, because everyone has their like God-given purpose and mission for their life. So, and it's not the same for everyone. So like I encourage you to like find your own purpose and mission in life. Don't be sidetracked by what other people are doing.
Wow, thank you. That was an excellent final message, very existential. So thank you for being here today, Tamilore. Have a nice day.